Josh and Amy. This is Carol. She is our deputy city clerk.
Welcome.
She will take over the meetings next month.
Awesome.
We'll call to order the September 3rd Parks Commission meeting. Roll call, please.
Bentley. Ludwig.
Here.
Hayland.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Delaney.
Here. And an approval of the minutes for July 1st, or if anyone has any questions.
I'll motion to approve.
Second, Delaney.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. All right, no audience items. All right, so we have discussed potential parkland dedication with Ken.
Ken Born, 215 East Drive, City. This kind of started when my wife passed away last year, and I was trying to do something as a memorial for her. So, in the land across from me, if you look at Grimes Street, we live on Grimes Street. There's a hickory tree and an oak tree that remain on the land that Bill Kimberly owns, the development now. And it lies at Outlot Z, which is above the square that you see on the red portion of the map. So I propose to Bill that I buy that property, including the vacated portion of the Summer Street you see there too. He was in agreement of that, and then the idea was to deed it back to the city. So in discussions with the city, with Randy and Mr. Don and a couple of folks, and Bill Kimberly and Jenna Kimberly, what wound up is was talked about is they'd like to have a walking path, at least a walking path that goes and intersects the sidewalk over there in the Kimberly development, so that it'd be like a walking path across the top of the hillside. So nothing in this park plan is planned to have concrete asphalt. It's just walking trail, and then there would be, excuse me, like a memorial bench of some kind of that square. So it's pretty low maintenance. I don't know that the city would have to maintain it. I'm happy to maintain it. I live pretty close. I'd like to continue to do that. But, that's the basis of, and Mr. Kimberly is willing to donate all this land for him to the city.
So we're talking all of this section here.
Yep. I'm sorry, you didn't have it. You didn't get my AutoCAD. Quit.
That's all of it. Okay. How long would that walking path be?
Yeah.
So it looks like a pretty good distance.
I can't tell you, but I used to slide down that hill. You see where that topography is like that? I used to slide down that hill when I was a kid. So it's very, very steep up there. You probably have to cut a bench across there, which I'm willing to do. Probably cut a bench up there. You can get a walking trail, but you can't get very much wider than a walking trail. So a bench is like a terrace, farm terrace.
Mm-hmm. And then were you thinking like what we did over off of Parker, where it's just kind of a mulch area weaving through?
Yep. Yeah, there would be no asphalt, no concrete, nothing like that. Because you have to maintain that, obviously, and that would be hard to maintain on that slope.
So that was going to be my question, because we kind of had some issues with that one over on Parker, with it kind of running away this last year.
We took that out.
Yeah.
We put dirt in there and seeded it, and we ended it up on top.
Yep. So would we have a similar concern if there's a big hillside along here?
As long as it's leveled off up there, it should be fine. The problem over there off of Parker is
it was that straight slope down.
Straight down, and
yeah.
it went straight down. It did. I mean, it probably should have cut it at an angle.
So what I'm understanding from what you're saying is this is currently a hillside profile
Yes.
like that. I mean, it's steep. I know exactly what you're talking about. So
Yep.
what you're talking about is basically making a divot and putting in a flat pathway here with some sort of memorial next to that hickory and oak tree that are right there. Is that what I understand? So the profile wise, And you're telling, and what I understand is that you're donating the labor to create that terrace.
Create the bench stairs,
And is that just where the square is or the entire one?
the entire one.
I think that's a lovely memorial, and I'm sorry for your loss.
The area where the square is relatively flat,
Yeah.
and then it gets like really steep on it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get real steep until the area topography you see it's that's really steep.
Yeah.
Ken, what were you thinking of the mulch? The mulch we have at the shop, or?
Probably, yes. Yeah.
We have plenty.
Is there any, if this is deeded to the city, let's say, is there any concern with Ken doing the work himself and it not being a city property, kind of a liability issue?
My understanding would be he would do the work prior
Prior
to it being
to it.
deeded to the city.
And that's my understanding. Before he deeded, I would do the work, the risk would be mine.
Got it.
Is the yellow part here, would that also be,
The yellow part is to be sold to those land owners that are.
Got
no
it.
longer.
got it?
Sorry, I should have explained that.
That's okay. But that's where the pipe allotment is there for the gas line, isn't it?
No.
No, that's not where that is, okay.
And actually, that is something that the residents up there had been hoping for.
Yeah.
For some time, that piece of ground behind there has been owned by 3 or 4 different people now, and so it kind of aligns with, it's not really buildable.
Got it.
That's probably the best use of
Right.
this. Proper sell to the property.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I just know that there's also some drainage that goes down in that area, so I was trying to account for that as well.
All right, this is a great opportunity.
And there's also a bike path that goes down here further off of Deer Haven, and it cuts off right at Grimes Street, so that would give people a pathway up to Casey's and
You get a bike on there, I don't think I can bike the hill, but I'm old kids.
Ken, did that dead end on the south side, did that go, we talked about that before, were you able to get that all the way through, or is that dead end on the south?
No, we got it all.
It does go through, okay. Now, in the wintertime, just so you know, we won't be able to remove snow off of that,
Sure.
so.
Are there any
Yeah,
other
it wouldn't exactly be a wintertime park,
Right.
unless you want to slide down the hill.
Right. Well, I can see people probably wanting to sled it.
So basically just mowing and maybe some new mulch work is about all the maintenance there would be year over year. So pretty minimal. That's good.
Right, thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve?
No motion.
No motion?
Just
Okay,
discussion.
just discussion.
But
Okay.
It was just
Thank you.
really to see the
Thank you.
viability.
Okay.
If you guys thought it was a good idea, then he
Okay.
can proceed.
Thank you.
I like it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks.
Do we have a tree board report?
We do not.
Staff?
Randy, anything?
Nothing really.
Introduce Carol, and Chelsea will be here on the 16th, so that's it.
Anything from the commission? Do we, I guess, October, do we want to try to go back to a park again? Or I think could go back to, can't think of the actual name, Froggy Park.
Leonard.
Yeah. Yeah, we could, or Fishy, yeah. Do we want to go back there since we didn't have enough to hold our meeting last time, or look at a different area? Okay, Leonard Park on October 7th. Anything else from the commission?
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
you're clear.
Do we have timing from him when he thought he would be done with this?
No, I think it's still in the works.